Chapter 1: Collision of Truths. I'm rinsing a plate in the cramped kitchen of my rented apartment when the door crashes open, the rusty hinges shrieking like a horror movie prop. My heart lurches, and I nearly drop the dish. Adrian stands there, all 6'4" of alpha dominance, his broad shoulders filling the doorway. His dark eyes lock onto me, sharp as a blade, and the air thickens with his cedarwood pheromone. Behind him, 3 burly bodyguards loom, their faces blank but menacing. My gaze drops to my swollen belly, and I instinctively wrap an arm around it, shielding the life inside. "Who's the father, Josiah?" Adrian's voice is low, dangerous, like he's holding back a storm. 3 months gone, and you're already knocked up by some nobody? I swallow hard, my throat dry. The plate slips from my fingers, clattering into the sink. "Adrian, please, don't please me." He steps closer, his boots thudding on the creaky floorboards. His eyes flicker to my belly, and his jaw tightens. "You think you can run off, play house with some random guy, and make a fool of me? My family?" The accusation stings, but I can't tell him the truth, not yet. Not when he's looking at me like I'm a stranger who betrayed him. My knees wobble, and I grip the counter for support. "It's not what you think," I manage, my voice barely above a whisper. "This baby, he's innocent. Don't hurt him." Adrian's brows knit, his expression a mix of fury and something I can't place. "Hurt, maybe? Innocent?" He scoffs, but his voice wavers. "You're protecting some bastard's kid like it's your lifeline. What about our deal, huh? You're still my husband, Josiah. You don't get to put a green hat on my head." I flinch at the old phrase, almost laughing despite the tension. "A green hat? Really, Adrian? I'd rather wear a potato sack than put anything on your head." The quip slips out, a reflex from years of sparring with him. His lips twitch, but the amusement vanishes as quickly as it came. "Don't play cute." He's closer now, his shadow swallowing me. His hand hovers near my arm, but he doesn't touch me. "This kid can't stay. You know that." My heart hammers. I back up, my hip bumping the counter, and tears prick my eyes. "No. You don't get to decide that." My voice cracks, but I force the words out. "He's mine. If you want me gone, fine. I'll disappear. Divorce me, Adrian. I'll go somewhere far, change my name, whatever it takes. Just let me keep him." The room goes quiet, save for the faint hum of the fridge. Adrian's staring at me, his dark eyes wide with something raw, shock, anger, and maybe a flicker of pain. His chest heaves, and I notice the veins bulging on his forearms. "Divorce?" he repeats, like the words foreign. "You think you can just walk away from the Whitmore family? From me?" I bite my lip, fighting the urge to crumble. "I'm not your property, Adrian. I never was." But my voice shakes, betraying the lie. Growing up in his family's shadow, I've always felt like I owed them everything: my home, my education, my life. And him. He steps closer, and I shrink back, expecting him to grab me. Instead, his hand freezes midair, then drops. "You're shaking," he mutters, almost to himself. His gaze softens for a split second before hardening again. "You really think I'd hurt you?" I don't answer. I can't. Memories flood in, Adrian at 16, towering over me when I trailed him like a lost puppy. "Stop following me, Josiah! I don't need a clingy omega tagging along." But then he'd punch out anyone who dared shove me in the school halls. He was always a contradiction, hot and cold, pushing me away but never letting me fall too far. "Boss!" one of the bodyguards grunts, shifting impatiently. "What's the call?" Adrian's eyes don't leave mine. His jaw works, and I brace for the worst: hospital, forced procedures, the end of everything. But then he does something I don't expect. He slides an arm under my knees and lifts me off the ground in one fluid motion. I yelp, grabbing his neck for balance, my belly pressing awkwardly against his chest. "What are you doing?" I hiss, my face burning. His warmth seeps through his shirt, and I'm hyper-aware of how close we are, his pheromone wrapping around me like a blanket. "Taking you home," he says gruffly, already striding toward the door. "This dump isn't fit for a dog, let alone you." "Home?" I squirm, but his grip tightens. "I don't need your charity, Adrian. Put me down. Keep wiggling, and I'll drop you," he snaps, but there's a teasing edge to it, like when we were kids and he threatened to dunk me in the pool. "You're coming with me, end of story." I glare at him, but my body betrays me, relaxing into his hold. The bodyguards part like a black-suited sea, and we're out in the chilly evening air. Adrian's sleek SUV waits at the curb, its engine purring. He sets me in the back seat with surprising care, then slides in beside me, slamming the door. The car pulls away, and silence stretches between us. I stare at my hands, still clutching my belly. "Why not the hospital?" I ask quietly, half afraid of the answer. He doesn't look at me, his profile sharp against the tinted window. "You said the kid's innocent." "I'm not a monster, Josiah." I swallow a lump in my throat. "Could have fooled me." He snorts, a low, bitter sound. "Yeah, well, you're not exactly an open book either. Running off without a word? Real classy. You didn't give me a reason to stay." I shoot back, my voice sharper than I meant. "You made it clear I was just an obligation." His head snaps toward me, eyes blazing. "An obligation? You think that's what this is?" He leans closer, and I catch a whiff of his cologne mixed with that damn pheromone. "You've got no idea what I—" He cuts himself off, raking a hand through his dark hair. The driver glances at us in the rearview mirror, but Adrian's glare sends his eyes back to the road. I wait, heart pounding, but he doesn't finish the thought. The rest of the drive is silent. The city lights blur past, a kaleidoscope of neon and shadow. I steal a glance at Adrian. His hands are clenched on his thighs, knuckles white. I want to ask what he meant, but the words stick in my throat. When we reach the Whitmore estate, the iron gates swing open, and the sprawling mansion looms ahead, all glass and stone. Adrian doesn't wait for the driver. He's out of the car and opening my door before I can protest, offering a hand I don't take. I climb out, cradling my belly, and follow him inside. The foyer's chandelier glints above us, casting fractured light across the marble floor. Adrian pauses, his back to me. "You're staying here," he says without turning. "No more running." I open my mouth to argue, but exhaustion hits me like a wave. "Fine," I mutter. "For now." He glances over his shoulder, his expression unreadable. "Get some rest. We'll talk tomorrow." As he walks away, his footsteps echo in the vast hall. I stand there, alone, my hand on my belly. The baby kicks, a tiny flutter of defiance. "We'll be okay," I whisper, though I'm not sure of who I'm convincing. Adrian's scent lingers in the air, and for the first time in months, I feel a spark of hope and fear. Tomorrow, everything changes. Chapter 2: Echoes of Yesterday. I'm elbow deep in a cardboard box, sorting through old books in the guest room Adrian dumped me in last night, when a faded photo slips out from a dog-eared novel. It's us, me at 12, all scrawny limbs and wide eyes, grinning beside a teenage Adrian, who's smirking like he owns the world. My chest tightens. I trace his face, remembering how I'd trail him like a shadow, soaking up his every word. Back then, I thought he hung the moon. Now, I'm not sure what I think. The door creaks, and I shove the photo under a pillow just as Adrian strides in, his navy blazer slung over one shoulder. His cedarwood pheromone hits me, sharp and unsettling. "What's with the mess?" he says, eyeing the scattered books. "You planning to open a library or run away again?" I roll my eyes, brushing dust off my jeans. "Funny, Adrian. I'm just organizing. Unlike some people, I don't have a staff to do it for me." He snorts, dropping his blazer on a chair. "Touché. But don't touch my stuff. The staff's already jumpy about you being back." "Jumpy?" I pause, a worn sweater in my hands. "What, they think I'm here to steal the silver?" He leans against the doorframe, arms crossed, his dark eyes scanning me. "They think you're trouble. And honestly, with your track record, I don't blame them." I bristle, tossing the sweater into a box. "My track record? You're the one who dragged me back here like some caveman. I was doing fine on my own." "Fine?" His voice sharpens, and he steps closer, his height looming. "You were living in a shoebox with a leaky faucet, Josiah. That's not fine. That's pathetic." My face burns. "At least I was free. Not stuck in your family's gilded cage, waiting for you to decide my life." He opens his mouth, then shuts it, his jaw tight. For a second, I think he'll argue, but he just grabs a book from the floor and flips it open, pretending to read. "Whatever. Just don't break anything." I bite back a retort, focusing on the box. Silence stretches, thick and awkward, until a memory bubbles up. "You used to hate when I followed you," I say, half to myself. Called me a clingy omega, said I was too soft to keep up. Adrian freezes, the book still in his hands. You remember that, huh? Hard to forget. I force a laugh, but it's brittle. You ditched me at the arcade, but then beat up Tommy Klein for tripping me. Mixed signals much? He closes the book with a snap, his expression unreadable. I didn't ditch you. I just needed space. You were always there, looking at me like I was some hero. I flinch, the words cutting deeper than I expect. Sorry for thinking you were worth looking up to. He winces, but before he can respond, a knock interrupts. A maid pokes her head in, holding a stack of towels. Mr. Adrian, should I move Mr. Josiah's things to storage? No, he says quickly, almost too quickly. Leave them. He's staying. The maid nods and scurries off. I raise an eyebrow. What happened to don't touch my stuff? Adrian shrugs, tossing the book onto the bed. You're here now. Might as well make it livable. But don't get any ideas about redecorating. I smirk despite myself. Oh, please. Your taste is all brooding bachelor. I'd at least add some color. He chuckles, a low, warm sound that catches me off guard. For a moment, it's like we're kids again, bickering over pizza toppings. But then his phone buzzes, and he glances at the screen, his face hardening. I've got a meeting, he mutters, grabbing his blazer. Don't burn the place down. As he leaves, I sink onto the bed, the photo digging into my hip. I pull it out, staring at young Adrian's cocky grin. Why does he still get under my skin? I tuck the photo away and resume unpacking, but my mind wanders to the past, Adrian at 16, shoving bullies away from me, then grumbling. Stop crying, you're embarrassing me. He'd always been my protector, even when he acted like he hated me. I'm folding clothes when I spot a framed painting on the wall, a swirling abstract in blues and golds. My stomach twists. I recognize it from a gallery visit years ago, a gift from Elliot, Adrian's supposed best friend. The staff used to whisper about them, Elliot, the charming beta who always seemed too close to Adrian, and me, the awkward omega who didn't belong. I overhear two maids in the hall now, their voices low. Elliot's coming to the gala next week, one says. Bet he's thrilled Josiah's back. Always had a thing for Adrian. Poor Josiah, the other replies. Stuck in a marriage Adrian never wanted. No wonder he ran. I grip a shirt, my knuckles white. Elliot. The name alone makes my skin crawl. I've seen the way he looks at Adrian, all sly smiles and knowing glances. Back in school, rumors flew that they were soulmates, held back only by my stupid arranged marriage. I shake my head, shoving the shirt into a drawer. I'm not that naive kid anymore. I don't need Adrian's approval, or his love. But as I unpack, I find a small wooden box I made for Adrian when I was 14, carved with clumsy stars. I'd given it to him for his birthday, and he'd scoffed. What is this, arts and crafts? I thought he'd thrown it out, but here it is, tucked among my things. My throat tightens. Why keep it? Footsteps echo, and I slam the box shut, shoving it under a pile of clothes. Adrian's back, his tie loosened, looking exhausted. You're still at it? He says, eyeing the mess. Thought you'd be napping. You know, with the... He gestures vaguely at my belly. I cross my arms, deflecting. I'm pregnant, not fragile. And you're one to talk, you look like you haven't slept in a week. He smirks, but it's tired. Running an empire's not exactly restful. He hesitates, then grabs a jacket from the closet. I'm heading out. Don't wait up. Where to? The question slips out before I can stop it. He pauses, surprised. Just out. Why? I shrug, feigning indifference. Just curious. Don't trip over your ego on the way. He laughs, a real one this time, and my heart does a stupid flip. Noted, smartass. He's halfway out the door when he adds, There's food in the kitchen. Eat something. When he's gone, I wander to the window, watching his car disappear down the drive. The estate feels too big, too empty. I head to the kitchen, but my appetite's gone. Instead, I pull out my laptop and start searching for jobs, anything to build a life outside these walls. I'm not staying forever, no matter what Adrian thinks. Later, I'm dozing on the couch, a job application half finished, when a blanket settles over me. I stir, catching a whiff of cedarwood. Adrian's silhouette moves in the dim light, his face soft as he adjusts the blanket. He doesn't know I'm awake. My heart aches, torn between hope and fear. He's still the boy who protected me, but he's also the man who might break me. I close my eyes, pretending to sleep, and whisper to my baby, "We'll figure this out." But as Adrian's footsteps fade, I wonder if I'm lying to us both. Chapter 3: Bruises and Bonds. Rain pelts the sidewalk as Josiah hurries down a dimly lit street, his hoodie soaked through. The diner where he's picked up a part-time gig is 3 blocks away, and he's already late. His belly, now a noticeable curve, slows him down, but he pushes on, clutching a cheap umbrella that's more holes than fabric. The city's neon glow feels distant, like it belongs to someone else's life. A group of alpha teens loiter ahead, their laughter sharp and predatory. Josiah's stomach twists. He lowers his head, hoping to slip by unnoticed. "Hey, pretty Omega," one calls, stepping into his path. His pheromone reeks of cheap beer and aggression. "Where you rushing to?" "Got a hot date." Josiah's grip tightens on the umbrella. "Just leave me alone," he says, voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. He tries to sidestep, but another alpha blocks him, smirking. "Come on, don't be shy. You smell real sweet for a pregnant guy." The leader's eyes glint, and Josiah's heart races. He's faced creeps before, but not like this, not with a baby to protect. "Back off," he snaps, but his voice wavers. The group closes in, and panic claws at him. Then, a familiar cedarwood scent cuts through the rain, followed by a roar of fury. "Get your hands off him!" Adrian's voice is a thunderclap. He storms forward, his alpha pheromone a crushing wave that makes the teens stagger. Before Josiah can blink, Adrian's fist connects with the leader's jaw, sending him sprawling. The others scatter, but Adrian grabs one by the collar, slamming him against the wall. "You think you can touch what's mine?" Josiah's breath catches at the word mine, but he shakes it off. Adrian's just playing the possessive alpha card, nothing more. The fight's over in seconds, the teens fleeing into the night. Adrian turns, his chest heaving, rain dripping from his dark hair. "You okay?" he asks, his voice rough but softer now. Josiah nods, clutching his belly. "Yeah. Thanks." His legs wobble, and Adrian's at his side in an instant, steadying him. "What the hell are you doing out here?" Adrian demands, guiding him toward a sleek SUV parked nearby. "This isn't your neighborhood, Josiah." "I was working," Josiah mumbles, sliding into the passenger seat. The warmth of the car feels like a betrayal after the cold rain. Adrian climbs in, slamming the door, and the driver pulls away. "Working?" Adrian's tone is incredulous. "You're pregnant, wandering sketchy streets, and you're working? What, my family's money not good enough for you?" Josiah glares, wiping rain from his face. "I don't want your money. I want my own life." Adrian snorts, but there's a flicker of respect in his eyes. Stubborn as ever. "You're lucky I was nearby." "Lucky?" Josiah huffs, a spark of his old defiance flaring. "I didn't ask for a knight in shining armor. You just love playing the hero, don't you?" Adrian smirks, leaning back. "Someone's gotta save your ass. You're a magnet for trouble." The banter eases the tension, but Josiah is still shaking. Adrian notices, his smirk fading. "You're hurt," he says, spotting a bruise blooming on Josiah's wrist. "Let me see." "It's nothing," Josiah protests, but Adrian's already grabbing a first aid kit from the glove compartment. He takes Josiah's wrist, his touch surprisingly gentle for someone who just knocked out a guy. The car's interior light casts shadows on his face, highlighting the worry in his eyes. "Hold still," Adrian mutters, dabbing antiseptic on the bruise. His fingers linger, and Josiah's pulse quickens. Then, his gaze drops to the back of Josiah's neck, where a damp patch reveals the edge of his pheromone blocker patch. Before Josiah can stop him, Adrian peels it off, exposing the sensitive gland. "Adrian!" Josiah gasps, his jasmine-like pheromone flooding the car. His face burns as the scent betrays his nerves, and something deeper. Adrian's eyes darken, his own pheromones spiking in response. "Shit," Adrian mutters, leaning back like he's been burned. "You need a new patch. This one's trashed." He rummages in the kit, but his hands are unsteady. "You gotta be careful, Josiah. An Omega scent like that, it's not safe." Josiah snatches the new patch, slapping it on. "I know my biology, thanks. And you're not exactly Mr. Manners, ripping off my patch like that." Adrian chuckles, the sound low and warm. "Fair point." But you're not making it easy, smelling like a damn flower garden. Josiah's cheeks heat, and he looks away, focusing on the rain streaking the window. The air feels charged, like they're teetering on the edge of something. Adrian clears his throat, breaking the spell. Where were you working anyway? A diner, Josiah says, hesitant. Just serving coffee. It's honest work. Adrian's quiet for a moment, then sighs. You don't have to do that. Not here. Not with me. Josiah bristles. I'm not your charity case, Adrian. I need to stand on my own. Stand on your own? Adrian's voice sharpens. You're carrying a kid, my kid, whether you admit it or not. You think I've let you scrape by in some greasy spoon? Josiah's heart skips at my kid, but he pushes it down. You don't get to claim him just because you feel guilty. You didn't even want me around 3 months ago. Adrian's jaw tightens, and he looks away. Forget it. He pulls out his phone, typing furiously. I'm calling off those punks' futures. They won't touch you again. Josiah wants to argue, but exhaustion wins. The car pulls up to the Whitmore estate, and Adrian helps him out, his hand lingering on Josiah's elbow. Inside, the foyer's warmth is a stark contrast to the night's chill. Adrian hesitates, then grabs a towel from a nearby closet, tossing it to Josiah. Dry off, he says gruffly. And no more late-night adventures. I mean it. Josiah catches the towel, meeting his gaze. I'm not your prisoner, Adrian. I'll do what I need to. Adrian's eyes narrow, but there's a flicker of something else. Worry, maybe. Just don't make me chase you again. He turns to leave, then pauses. There's hot chocolate in the kitchen. Drink some. You look like a drowned rat. Josiah smirks despite himself. Charming as ever. But as Adrian disappears upstairs, Josiah's hand drifts to his wrist, where Adrian's touch still lingers. The bruise throbs, but so does his heart. He heads to the kitchen, the towel draped over his shoulders, and pours a mug of cocoa. The steam rises, and he whispers to his belly. He's not all bad, is he? The baby kicks, and Josiah smiles, but doubt gnaws at him. Adrian's protective streak feels like a lifeline, but it could just as easily be a leash. He sips the cocoa, resolving to keep his guard up. Whatever Adrian's playing at, Josiah won't let himself fall too far, not again. Chapter 4, Shattered Trust. The chandelier in the Whitmore Estate's ballroom glitters like a frozen waterfall, casting light over the crowd of tuxedoed alphas and glittering betas. Josiah sits on a plush velvet couch, his hands clasped over his belly, feeling like a fish out of water. Grandfather William's announcement of the baby has drawn the city's elite, their murmurs buzzing like static. Josiah's navy suit, tailored to hide his pregnancy, feels too tight, and the weight of their stares presses harder than the fabric. Across the room, Adrian chats with a group of investors, his laugh easy, but his eyes keep flicking to Josiah, sharp and unreadable. Elliot slinks over, a champagne flute in hand, his beta scent crisp like green apples. His tailored jacket hugs his lean frame, and his smile is all teeth. Josiah, he drawls, settling beside him, too close. You're glowing. Or is that just the baby stealing your spotlight? Josiah shifts away, forcing a smile. Thanks, Elliot. I'm just here for the free food. His tone's light, but his fingers tighten on his knee. Elliot's been circling all night, dropping hints about Adrian's real feelings that make Josiah's stomach churn. Food's not the only thing free tonight, Elliot says, leaning in, voice low. Rumors are flying about that kid of yours. Not exactly Adrian's, is it? I mean, no mark on your neck, and you did run off for months. Josiah's jaw clenches. Mind your own business, Elliot. Or do you just love stirring up trouble? Elliot chuckles, unfazed. Oh, come on. I'm just looking out for Adrian. He deserves the truth, not some omega playing house with a mystery baby. He sips his champagne, eyes glinting. You know he's only keeping you around because grandfather's got his leash tight. Funny, Josiah snaps, his voice sharper than he intends. Last I checked, you're not his keeper. So why don't you go sniff around someone else's drama? Elliot's smile falters, but before he can retort, a commotion erupts at the ballroom's entrance. A man in a rumpled jacket storms in, his face flushed, holding up a scrap of fabric, a pair of Josiah's old boxers, the kind he lost months ago. The crowd gasps, and Josiah's heart plummets. This is proof, the man shouts, waving the underwear like a flag. Josiah was with me. That baby's mine, not Whitmore's. His voice carries, and the room falls silent, all eyes on Josiah. Adrian pushes through the crowd, his face a mask of fury. Who the hell are you? He demands, his pheromones spiking, cedarwood laced with rage. The man flinches but holds his ground. I'm the father, he sneers. Josiah and I were together before he crawled back to your money. Check his neck, no mark from you, Whitmore. He's playing you. Josiah's on his feet, trembling, his voice barely steady. That's a lie. I don't even know you. He turns to Adrian, desperation clawing at him. Adrian, he's making it up. The baby's yours, I swear. Adrian's eyes meet his, but they're cold, distant. He doesn't speak, and the silence cuts deeper than any words. Josiah's chest tightens, tears prickling. Say something, he pleads, voice cracking. You believe me, don't you? The crowd murmurs, and Elliot's smirk is a blade in Josiah's peripheral vision. Grandfather William strides forward, his cane thumping, face thunderous. Enough! He barks. This is a disgrace. Guards, take them both to the authorities. Now. Josiah's knees buckle as two burly alphas grab his arms. No! He cries, twisting free, his hands shielding his belly. Grandfather, please, I'm telling the truth. He looks at Adrian, his voice breaking. It's yours. From that night, you're easy, period. You have to remember. Adrian's jaw tightens, his hands clenched at his sides. He looks away, and Josiah's heart shatters. The guards pull him toward the exit, the stranger still shouting about his baby. Josiah's tears spill over, his voice hoarse. Adrian, please! Then, a surge of pheromone floods the room, sharp and commanding, like a storm breaking. Adrian's voice cuts through the chaos. Stop! He steps forward, his presence a wall of authority. The guards freeze, and even Grandfather William pauses, eyes narrowing. Adrian's gaze locks on Josiah, and for the first time tonight there's no ice in it, just a flicker of something raw. Let him go, Adrian says, his voice low but unyielding. He moves to Josiah's side, his hand hovering near his shoulder, not quite touching. He stays. The guards release Josiah, and he stumbles, catching himself on Adrian's arm. You believe me? He whispers, tears streaking his face. Adrian's expression is unreadable, but his hand finally settles on Josiah's shoulder, steadying him. I don't know what's going on, he mutters, voice rough. But I'm not letting you go until I do. Grandfather William's cane thumps again. Adrian, this is madness. The family's honor can wait. Adrian snaps, his eyes never leaving Josiah. He's my husband. That's enough for now. Josiah's breath hitches, relief and doubt warring inside him. He glances at Elliot, whose face is a mask of barely concealed fury. The stranger's still yelling, but the guards drag him out, his voice fading. The crowd disperses, whispering, and Grandfather William storms off, muttering about disgrace. Adrian guides Josiah to a quiet corner, his hand still on his shoulder. You okay? He asks, his voice softer now, almost gentle. Josiah wipes his eyes, trying to steady his breathing. No thanks to you, he mutters, but there's no venom in it. You could have said something sooner. I thought. He trails off, swallowing hard. Adrian's hand drops, and he looks away, guilt flickering across his face. I didn't know what to think. That guy, the underwear. He shakes his head. It's messed up. Yeah, well, welcome to my life, Josiah says, a weak laugh escaping. You gonna lock me in a tower now, or what? Adrian's lips twitch, a ghost of a smile. Don't tempt me. You're a pain in my ass. But his hand brushes Josiah's arm, lingering a second too long. We'll figure this out. Just don't run again, okay? Josiah nods, too tired to argue. As Adrian leads him upstairs, away from the lingering guests, Josiah's hand rests on his belly, the baby's faint kick grounding him. He steals a glance at Adrian, whose jaw is set but whose eyes keep darting to him, protective and uncertain. For the first time, Josiah wonders if Adrian's walls are cracking, or if he's just seeing what he wants to see. In the hallway, Adrian pauses, his hand on Josiah's back. Get some rest, he says, voice low. And don't worry about that creep. I'll handle it. Josiah manages a small smile. You're not as tough as you think, you know. Adrian snorts, but his eyes soften. Keep telling yourself that. He walks away, but his scent lingers, warm and steady. Josiah shuts the door, leaning against it, his heart a tangled mess. The baby kicks again, and he whispers, "He's trying, isn't he?" But the doubt remains, sharp as the chandelier's light. Chapter 5. Walls fall, he grovels. The sterile smell of antiseptic stings Josiah's nose as he lies on the exam table, the ultrasound gel cold against his belly. The doctor's office, tucked in the Whitmore Estate's private wing, hums with quiet efficiency. Adrian paces near the door, his polished shoes clicking on the tile, his cedarwood pheromones spiking with every turn. Josiah grips the table's edge, his heart thudding as the doctor preps for the sheep water puncture. The procedure's risky, but it's the only way to prove the baby's Adrian's, and to unravel the mess from the banquet. "You sure about this?" Adrian stops pacing, his dark eyes fixed on Josiah. His voice is gruff, but there's a tremor in it, like he's holding something back. "If it's too dangerous, it's fine." Josiah cuts in, though his own nerves betray him, his fingers twitching. "We need the truth. Unless you want to keep thinking I'm some gold-digging liar." Adrian's jaw tightens, but a reluctant smirk tugs at his lips. "You? Gold-digging? You'd probably trip over the gold and apologize to it." Josiah snorts, the tension easing a fraction. Says the guy who trips over his own ego daily. Their banter feels like a lifeline, a flicker of the old days when they'd trade jabs over arcade games. But the doctor's needle glints, and Josiah's smile fades. He takes a shaky breath, focusing on the ceiling. Adrian moves closer, hesitating before resting a hand on Josiah's shoulder. "I'm right here," he says, voice low. "Not going anywhere." The words hit harder than Josiah expects, and he nods, not trusting himself to speak. The procedure's quick but nerve-wracking, the doctor's steady hands a small comfort. When it's done, Josiah exhales, and Adrian's hand lingers, warm and grounding. The doctor promises results within hours, and they're sent to wait in a nearby lounge, a sleek room with leather chairs and a view of the estate's gardens. Josiah sinks into a chair, cradling his belly. Adrian sits across from him, elbows on his knees, staring at the floor. The silence is heavy, broken only by the tick of a wall clock. Finally, Josiah speaks, his voice barely above a whisper. "That night, your easy period. You don't remember anything, do you?" Adrian's head snaps up, his eyes narrowing. "What's that supposed to mean?" Josiah hesitates, then plunges in. "The baby's yours, Adrian. From that night. You were out of it, burning up, and I stayed. I didn't plan it, but it happened." His face burns, the memory raw, Adrian's fevered touch, the way Josiah's heart had raced, torn between fear and longing. Adrian's expression shifts, shock, then disbelief. "You're saying and you didn't tell me?" His voice rises, but there's no anger, just confusion. "Why the hell not?" "Because you hated me," Josiah snaps, his voice cracking. "You barely looked at me after we got married. I thought you'd laugh in my face, or worse, not believe me. So I ran." He looks away, tears pricking. "I didn't want to trap you." Adrian rakes a hand through his hair, his pheromones spiking with frustration. "Trap me? Josiah, you're my husband. You think I'd just, shit, I don't know what I'd do, but you should have said something." He leans forward, voice softer. "I'm not that guy anymore. Or, I'm trying not to be." Josiah's throat tightens. "Trying's not enough when I'm the one getting dragged through the mud. That guy at the banquet, the underwear, it's all Elliot, isn't it?" Adrian's eyes darken, and he nods, his voice cold. "Yeah. My people traced the creep. Paid off by Elliot. He's been spreading lies for years, about you, about us. I should have seen it." Josiah's heart lurches. "Years?" The rumors, the whispers about Elliot and Adrian being soulmates, it all clicks. "Why would he do that?" Adrian looks away, guilt flickering across his face. "Elliot's complicated. We grew up together, and he's always been possessive. I thought it was just loyalty, but..." He trails off, shaking his head. "I was blind, okay? But I'm not now." Before Josiah can respond, his phone buzzes. A message from Elliot. "Enjoy your moment, Josiah. Truth's coming." Josiah's blood runs cold, and he shows Adrian, whose face hardens. "That son of a..." Adrian starts, but Josiah grabs his arm. "Don't," he says, voice firm. "Not now. The baby needs you here, not chasing Elliot down." Let the results handle him. Adrian's eyes blaze, but he nods, his hand covering Josiah's briefly. Fine. But when this is over, he's done. The wait stretches, each minute a wait. Adrian paces again, then stops, pulling a chair close to Josiah. Look, he says, voice rough. I'm sorry. For not believing you, for letting Elliot's crap get to me. I should have trusted you. Josiah blinks, caught off guard. You're apologizing? Who are you, and what did you do with Adrian Whitmore? Adrian chuckles, the sound warm. Don't get used to it. I'm still an ass. But his eyes are soft, and Josiah's heart does a traitor flip. They lapse into silence, but it's different now, less suffocating. Adrian's pheromone shifts, calmer, wrapping around Josiah like a quiet promise. Josiah's about to speak when the doctor returns, a tablet in hand. Results are in, she says, her face neutral. The DNA matches Mr. Whitmore. Relief crashes over Josiah, and he laughs, tears spilling. Adrian's grin is boyish, almost disbelieving. It's mine, he says, voice thick. Holy shit, it's mine. He pulls Josiah into a hug, careful but fierce, and Josiah melts into it, his walls crumbling. The doctor hands them the report, and Adrian scans it, his grin widening. Wait till grandfather sees this. He'll probably throw another party. He looks at Josiah, eyes serious. You did this. You fought for him, our kid. Josiah wipes his eyes, smiling. Yeah, well, someone had to. You were too busy playing detective. Adrian laughs, the sound easing the last of Josiah's tension. But as they leave the office, Josiah catches a glimpse of Elliot's name on Adrian's phone, a missed call. His stomach twists. What now? He asks, nodding at the screen. Adrian's face hardens, but he pockets the phone. Nothing I can't handle. Elliot's out of moves. He rests a hand on Josiah's back, guiding him toward the car. Let's get you home. You need rest, and I need to start practicing for dad duty. Josiah smirks, leaning into his warmth. You? A dad? Good luck, Whitmore. You'll need it. Adrian's laugh follows them into the car, and Josiah's hand rests on his belly. The babies kick a quiet reassurance. Elliot's shadow lingers, but for now, Adrian's beside him, and that's enough. As the car pulls away, Josiah steals a glance at Adrian, whose eyes are on the road but whose pheromone hums with something new, hope. Josiah whispers to his baby, We're getting there. And for the first time, he believes it. Chapter 6, Home at Last. Sunlight filters through the park's oak trees, casting dappled shadows on the grass where Noah, all 3 years old and a whirlwind of energy, sprints after a soccer ball. His dark curls bounce, a mini version of Adrian's, and his giggle echoes as he shouts, I'm the boss! Josiah watches from a picnic blanket, a fond smile tugging at his lips. Adrian, sprawled beside him in a rare casual tee and jeans, snorts, tossing a grape into his mouth. Kid's got my charm but your stubborn streak, he says, his cedarwood pheromone warm and relaxed. Charm? Josiah raises an eyebrow, slicing an apple for Noah. You mean your knack for bossing everyone around? He's got that in spades. Adrian grins, unabashed. Takes one to know one, sweetheart. He leans closer, stealing a slice of apple, and Josiah swats his hand, laughing. The ease between them feels like a miracle, hard-won after years of walls and wounds. Noah's arrival cemented their bond, but it's these quiet moments, teasing, touching, just being, that make Josiah's heart full. Noah trips, tumbling into the grass, and wails, Daddy! Adrian's up in a flash, scooping him up. You okay, champ? He asks, inspecting a tiny scrape on Noah's knee. Noah sniffles, then spots a butterfly and squirms free, chasing it with a war cry. Adrian shakes his head, returning to the blanket. He's tougher than you were at that age, he teases Josiah. Remember when you cried over a paper cut? Josiah huffs, tossing a grape at him. I was 10, and you called me a baby in front of your friends. Jerk. Adrian catches the grape, popping it into his mouth with a smirk. Yeah, but I patched you up after. Gotta admit, I was a pro even then. The memory sparks, Adrian at 15, grumbling but gentle as he stuck a band-aid on Josiah's finger. Josiah's cheeks warm. You were a pro at being a pain, he retorts, but his voice softens. Still are sometimes. Adrian's eyes glint, and he leans in, voice low. You love it. His hand brushes Josiah's, and a familiar heat flares, jasmine mingling with cedarwood. Noah's shout breaks the moment, and they laugh, pulling apart as he barrels over, demanding juice. Later, at home, the Whitmore estate feels less like a fortress and more like theirs. Noah's toys litter the living room, and Josiah's books share space with Adrian's whiskey bottles. After dinner, Noah's bath turns into a splash war, with Adrian pretending to be a sea monster, while Josiah towels off Noah's giggles. Once Noah's tucked in, clutching a stuffed dinosaur, Josiah lingers, brushing a curl from his son's forehead. "Sleep tight, little boss," he whispers. Downstairs, Adrian's on the couch, a glass of bourbon in hand, the TV muted on some sports rerun. Josiah flops beside him, stealing a sip from his glass. "You're a bad influence," Adrian says, but he pulls Josiah close, arm draping over his shoulders. The quiet feels sacred, their pheromones blending in a soft hum. "Remember when Noah started talking?" Josiah says, nestling into Adrian's side. "His first word was no. I blame you." Adrian chuckles, his breath warm against Josiah's hair. "He's a rebel, like his dad. But he's got your heart. Kid's gonna save the world someday." Josiah's throat tightens. He thinks back to those early days, Adrian's hesitation, his own fear of being enough. "We almost didn't make it," he says quietly. "You and me." Adrian's arm tightens. "Yeah, I was an idiot. Mouthy, stubborn, still are." Josiah cuts in, smirking. Adrian laughs, then sobers, turning to face him. "I mean it, Josiah. I was scared of screwing up, of not being what you needed. That easy period. I didn't remember, but I felt it. You stayed, and I didn't deserve that." His voice roughens, and he cups Josiah's face, thumb brushing his cheek. "I love you. Always did, even when I was too dumb to say it." Josiah's eyes sting, and he leans into Adrian's touch. "I stayed because I loved you too. Even when you were a jerk." He pauses, voice teasing. "Especially then." Adrian's laugh is soft, and he kisses Josiah, slow and deep, like he's savoring every second. The kiss deepens, and Josiah's hands slide under Adrian's shirt, tracing the familiar planes of his chest. Adrian pulls back, eyes dark with want. "Careful," he murmurs. "Noah's asleep, but I'm not that quiet." Josiah grins, tugging him closer. "Then be quiet for once." They tumble into each other, laughter muffled by kisses, until Adrian's marking bite grazes Josiah's neck, a gentle claim that sends shivers through him. It's not the raw need of their early days but a promise, sealed in trust. After, they lie tangled on the couch, Josiah's head on Adrian's chest, listening to his heartbeat. "You kept that stupid star box," Josiah says, remembering the carved gift he'd found years ago. "Why?" Adrian's fingers trace circles on Josiah's back. "It was you," he says simply. "Couldn't let it go, even when I was pretending I didn't care." He kisses Josiah's forehead. "I'm done pretending." Josiah smiles, warmth spreading through him. "Good. Because I'm not running again." He yawns, and Adrian chuckles, pulling a throw blanket over them. The next morning, Noah's up early, demanding pancakes. Adrian flips them at the stove, cursing when one sticks, while Josiah sets the table, Noah perched on his hip. "Daddy's gonna burn the house down," Josiah stage whispers, and Noah giggles. "Keep talking, and you're getting charcoal cakes," Adrian retorts, but his grin's wide. Noah claps, chanting, "Charcoal!" and Adrian swoops in, tickling him until he squeals. After breakfast, they head to the park again, Noah racing ahead with a kite. Adrian takes Josiah's hand, their wedding bands glinting in the sun. "You happy?" Adrian asks, his voice soft but searching. Josiah squeezes his hand, watching Noah's kite soar. "Yeah. Really happy." He leans into Adrian, their shoulders brushing. "You?" Adrian's smile is boyish, unguarded. "Never been better." He kneels, kissing Josiah's palm, then Noah's muddy shoe as he runs by, earning a shriek. "You two are my everything." The kite dips, and Noah calls for help. Adrian jogs over, Josiah following, laughter bubbling up. The past, Elliot's schemes, the doubts, the pain, feels like a distant storm, faded against the brightness of now. Josiah rests a hand on his belly, not pregnant but full of possibility, and whispers to himself, "We made it." As Noah's kite climbs higher, Adrian pulls Josiah into a one-armed hug, Noah tucked between them. The park hums with life, and Josiah knows, bone deep, that this, messy, loud, and theirs, is home.